And hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. So again, disclaimer, fake hair, get it out the way. I'm asked every time to make that clear. Remind you who we are. I'm Graham, Community Manager for Generation Zero, and I'm joined by...
I'm Matt. I'm also a Community Manager.
And to my right...
my name's Paul. I am not a Community Manager. I'm the Product Owner for Generation Zero.
Yes, so Paul is the head honcho shot caller extraordinaire. So we dragged him down here from all his super busy ongoing stuff to come and talk to all you folks and get some of those glorious questions answered.
Yeah.
So Matt is playing with Sasha, who you'll hear over Discord here and there, doing a bit of gameplay, and otherwise we're just going to try and focus and do as much Q&A and talking to you folks as we can.
Let's do it.
Resonate on Twitch saying that's not fake, really. It is. I will look. Yeah, hair doesn't do that.
But I appreciate that you stick with it.
Yeah,
like,
you know, I'm committed now.
Yeah.
So it's
a
the
bit
things I do for this game.
Sacrifices.
Let me say here. Let's, So, I guess the thing that people really want to hear about straight away is what are we doing right now?
Right now, it's been, what's today, Wednesday? So it's just over a week since launch.
Yep.
We've spent a lot of time going through a lot of player feedback, looking at what everyone's saying, trying to understand what is working well and what isn't working so well. And then where can we focus our efforts on trying to either maximize things that are going well or really kind of fix and address the things that are not going well. So we've been having a lot of meetings, looking through a lot of feedback, thanks to your guys' help, by the way. And, a huge thank to all the fans for giving very detailed feedback on a lot of stuff.
And also, I need to stop you there because this is a very important request from our QA team. Thank you so much to our closed beta tester group. QA loves you to pieces. I had specific instructions I had to call that out. So
All right.
They have been awesome. I mean, what people don't know is behind the scenes, you also have another testing group of people who are giving us constant feedback.
Yep.
And like you said, that's a focus for us right now.
Yep. So just picking up. So we've been focused on trying to understand what all the feedback means and how we need to start approaching it going forward. So that means some of the stuff that maybe we were planning on trying to do, maybe that stuff moves around because it's like, all right, we see a clear need here from people that we're not addressing well. How can we improve it? So now we focus on doing those things.
Yeah.
Making the game better. There's, people have called out bugs. That people have been great about giving our QA team and our community team a lot of great detailed feedback when it comes to some of the bugs that actually help us reproduce stuff that we couldn't reproduce ourselves previously. But through a lot of just varying data points from players, we're now able to triangulate and kind of fix some of those things.
I mean, that's the important thing to remind people as well. I mean, obviously we've done a ton of testing in-house, but once it goes out and is played by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of players, it's like, then we start to do the real...
like, statistically, that's way more QA time in, like, the first, like, week than we'll get through years of production on games. That's the nature of how many people just can get their game in the hands and just do stuff that we've, with a small group can't always do. So our focus is trying to address those things as soon as we can. So that means trying to get a patch out later this month that addresses some of those things. We have no hard deadline right now, but that's something that we're looking to do because we know that people want these things to come out.
Yeah. So short answer is, right now, what we're mainly 100% focused on pretty much is taking all of the feedbacks from you folks. I mean, you've probably seen myself and Matt have been all over Discord, the forums, everywhere else, along with our QA team, gathering that feedback. That's being actioned on right now.
Yep.
We saw 2 hot fixes really early on the first day to deal with some real critical day one issues.
We did.
And now we're kind of doing a larger update that's going to be coming this month to kind of polish up some of the other outstanding bits.
We had some stuff that didn't even make it into day one that we had already fixed. So there are some things that we can have improvements on, but it's also, again, it's a lot of, oh man, what did players have on day 1, day 2, day 3 that we can react to in short order and try to get out the highest pain points. What can we try to address? Some of the things that people might have issues with, things that we didn't fully nail. Some of those things will take time, but we're aware of what they are based on player feedback. A lot of the stuff we're hearing is some of the multiplayer progression saving and kind of what it means for different players isn't super clear. That's something that we need to address pretty quickly because otherwise it's confusing and not great for players. So that's a big focus for us. That's one of those areas.
Yeah, cool. I had a point I was going to raise there. What was it going to be? Yeah, I guess in terms of, why we're waiting a little bit with pushing this sort of next update to cover everything. I mean, they saw hotfixes quick. Yep, quick. But understandably, when you're hotfixing quickly like that, there's a lot of risk involved, isn't there? We felt that risk was worth reward in fixing some real critical issues that are affecting everybody.
Yeah.
Whereas now, in a more planned, sort of steady update like this, we need the testing time and, the process it takes to actually develop it properly and get it out in a nice
And I mean, one of the things we look at is how many people is it actually impacting. If it's a few people, then maybe we wait on that thing because maybe there's another thing that has everyone screaming for, like, this is broken on my platform, or this doesn't work, or I don't understand this thing.
Yeah.
So we'll put our efforts on the thing that affects the most people. But that doesn't mean we ignore all the other stuff.
No.
We log it. We're looking into it. It's just, we need to prioritize the things that impact the most.
It's like hospital triage. You've got a guy with a sucking chest wound versus guy with a broken leg.
Yeah.
Both of them are equally important and need awesome healthcare, but the chest wound guy is going to get there first.
Yeah.
And again, the reason we're not doing it sort of quickly is just rather due to we want to take the time to make sure we've got some
we get it right, and
updates.
we make sure that when we see the feedback, we don't just have like a knee-jerk reaction to it. It's okay. What are people actually asking for, and what does this mean in the context of the game that we're trying to create? And making sure that the fix or the update that we make to the game, trying to address that feedback, makes sense in the right way for the game.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
I'm seeing talk of one hit point robots. That's something that we have already.
Yes,
internally.
We logged that one. We saw that one, and it's something that I think we fixed. I need to double check. I haven't looked at our Jira dashboard this morning.
I think I overheard someone at a water cooler saying that was something that we'd.
Yeah.
So
it's a weird one. So, but yes, I believe that one will be fixed in the next update. I'm not 100%. I'm like 93.5% on that one.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, there's anything can happen in game development. So we don't like to make absolute promises, but even if we do with absolute best intentions, will new guns be added in the future? I mean, there's lots of stuff we're going to want to talk about in the future, isn't there? I mean, as of now, again, we're very much focused on dealing with polishing the launch experience. Yep. But we have said from day one that there's going to be lots of support post-launch in terms of content and stuff as well. So we'll get to that a little bit more after we've kind of done with our teething issues. Yep. So, but we do have some cool ideas, and hopefully you'll have some to share with us as well.
Exactly, that's what we want, is more feedback from players. What are the things that they actively enjoy about the game that they'd like to see more of, or us kind of adapt and expand on? I think weapons make sense. A lot of games do that type of thing. So that's obviously a thought we've had for long term. Where does that roll out, or if it does, we'll get there when the time comes.
Yeah. I'm being asked like loads of questions about specific bugs in chat, like when will this one be fixed, when will this one be fixed, when will this one be fixed. I can't answer them on the fly here immediately, but I can pretty much say we know. As I said, myself and Matt and the QA team have spent the entirety of this last week working all kinds of crazy hours, gathering all of this feedback in and shuttling it to the dev team. So anything you're asking in chat now is pretty much 100% on our radar and 100% being looked into. It's again, just as we mentioned earlier, it's now we're actually putting the work in to make it happen and get it fixed, which unfortunately isn't just a button switch and does need some effort. And we really do appreciate you for your patience, and thank you so much for sticking by us and coming to watch us now. We can just reassure you that we are absolutely as passionate, if not more so, than you folks, because we have money on the line. And we want to make the game the best it can be 100%. So we appreciate all of the feedbacks.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you guys can still keep sending us bug reports via the forums or via the Steam Community Hub, we try to reply to as many as we can, but in terms of bug reports, a lot of the time they tend to repeat themselves, and it's just not feasibly possible with the amount of, unless I can clone myself into like 18 people. So if we don't reply to your personal message, does not mean we're ignoring you. It's more likely I've gone, yay, an awesome, well-written bug report, and send that straight to QA, and then we're already on to the next one. So do not think that us not replying to your personal bug issue does not mean we're not helping you, because we absolutely are. Being asked about sales. The game's only been out a week, so sales are not on the horizon. Again, rather than looking at money, we're looking at fixing all the rough edges of the game and making the game the best it can be.
Indeed.
So, yes. Generation Zero bought the game in the last 3 hours and already loving it and scared shitless multiple times.
Well, that's good.
Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, if you like that sort of thing. Yeah. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Being asked about drivable cars. We've covered vehicles in the past. It's not something we wanted day one, because why plow across this whole beautiful world we designed?
But I mean, we keep hearing that feedback. So
we
I mean,
do.
You know,
We
for
are
us, that starts, spidey senses tingling type of thing.
Yes, it does. I still want to see space hoppers. 80s kids, you'll know these things.
Oh, I remember that.
Big round
Yeah.
things, horns on top. I want to see. No, I don't think it's going to happen. though,
No,
is it?
that's weird and slow, I think.
It'll be slow, but it'll be so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be chasing away from a tank, bouncing away on this thing. You also had those shoes that had like trampolines inside them as well.
Oh my god, I remember those.
Yeah.
Give 'em
I wonder how
pogo
many
sticks.
ankles they
That's
broke.
terrible.
Pogo sticks.
Yeah, there you go.
A Swedish green military bike is a must. The heavy old
Okay.
effers. Yep.
Okay.
Will there be more music added at one point? That's a good
Ooh,
question.
that is a good question.
I mean, the music has gotten a lot of good feedback.
It
People love
it
the
has.
music, so-
Nothing that I can say right now. I haven't thought about it, to be honest. That is interesting. I mean, as the game continues to grow, you know, we might have needs for more music and more styles of music or something from the 80s. But yeah, not something off the top of my head right now that I.
Don't add cars, add mountable runners. I want to see ticks. Ticks
Interesting.
like roller skates.
Yeah, there you
One
go,
on each
man.
foot. I've been asked this question repeatedly.
Okay.
Non-connected player saves, Graham, question mark. I would love to give you some feedback on that, but I'm not really sure what you mean by the question. Regarding saves in general, we have been getting a lot of feedback
Yeah.
about that, and are thinking about, you know, there are some bugs related to saving currently we're investigating,
Yep.
and there are some actual gameplay changes we might want to do to make
Yeah.
the whole thing a bit smoother and a bit more understandable,
Yep.
and hopefully a bit more towards how you'd like it to be based on
Yeah.
your feedback. So.
A lot of the way we're thinking about it is it needs
Yeah.
to be pretty easily understandable at a glance for everyone out there. Not something that you need to like read through to figure out what's going on. We want it to be pretty obvious. It should feel right, be kind of just straightforward, so you're not guessing all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about making it work well for players.
Yes. I mean, that's, you know, basically what myself and Matt do for a job is grab that feedback
Yeah.
and send it your way.
Send it on over.
If I'm not an 80s kid, will I enjoy the environment / setting / atmosphere? I was born in '91. I would like to think so. Do
Yeah.
you like history games?
Oh, wow.
There's no
Now I feel
iPhones.
older.
Now I feel old too. Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, I'd like to think so. I mean, it's a different kind of. I think it's not just the time period; it's the location as well. It's a different experience for a lot of people. It's
and
not
I think
something you see a lot.
it's you know, from feedback we've heard from fans and elsewhere, is that it's very immersive. It makes you feel very much like you're in 80s Sweden. I didn't grow up here in the 80s, but I grew up in upstate New York, which honestly a lot of the countryside that you see in the game here feels like where I grew up. So I think that people can relate to it if it's not necessarily just the aesthetic. It's the environment. You can relate to it even if you're a 90s kid.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, please add Korean. We're being asked. If we pop in Korea, then that's probably something we
It's
can
a-
look
it's
at
a
doing.
thought.
I mean, you know, that's
One-
something else we're looking at as well. You know, what kind of regions are playing a game
Yeah.
that maybe we're not covered by the initial offering of like translations.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
It's always a tricky one.
Hi there from NYC. Hello from Stockholm. Hey, Rookie 31st. We've seen you around before.
Yes, a Call of the Wild fan.
One of our Call of Wild
Ah,
fans.
nice.
Yeah. My buddy can't throw flares. When are you going to fix it again?
PS4.
Talking about specific bugs and when we're going to fix them. We can't answer on an individual basis. All we can do is tell you that all our waking hours are invested in fixing bugs of all kinds
But
at this moment.
what I can tell you is it looks like it's the Generation 1 controllers. So if you've got a G2 one or a friend's got a spare one, he can hook you up and it should work. So
Yep.
that's about the only workaround for that at the moment.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's actually hardware we've tied it down to right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, I mean, the thing there is, you know, that doesn't mean that that's the only solution. There's things
No,
that we
that's
can look at doing
temporarily
ourselves.
until we fix it
exactly,
permanently.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. We want to figure out the best way to
Yeah.
solve that.
Yeah.
thing.
Any
So-
workaround we suggest is never us expecting
No.
you to fix something.
No,
it's
no.
more
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
we want you to be able to play it properly
Exactly.
immediately whilst we do the proper
Exactly.
fix. Yeah. Will 6.5 by 55 ammo ever be added in the game? It's Swedish, so it's strange it's not in the game. There's lots of Swedish
Oh,
stuff that's
man.
not in the game. I mean,
I would
we
need
got
to.
tons of everything yet to come, hopefully. As,
Yeah,
as
I would
we
need to talk to
continue.
somebody that knows guns a bit better than I do to understand which
Mm.
guns make sense for that caliber.
They're very proud of that caliber.
Okay.
They're very proud of it.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do a quick straw poll. We have 3 people living in Sweden. How many people have that ammo in their sock drawer right now?
Not me.
No.
No.
Okay, so 100%.
Even as an American, I don't own a
No.
gun, so.
No, I mean, absolutely, we're looking into, you know, all kinds of stuff to add to the future. Again, focus right now, bug fixing, taking feedback in,
Yep.
and then as the future goes on, then we're going to start adding more cool, let's say.
Mhm.
More awesome.
That's a good way to put it.
Will there be a Call of the Wild crossover? Now, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Ooh.
like animals from Call of the Wild, maybe wandering as.
Can talk to Phil, see what's possible.
Maybe
Yeah. Producer Phil, we'll get him on the case.
Product owner Phil.
I
Not
was
producer Phil.
Yeah, but he's known as Producer Phil on Twitch. That's
Is
what,
he?
That's what we
Yeah,
know him as.
that's
okay.
Yeah. He needs to get a
That'd
new
be like,
new ID.
It's hard to break that though.
who is this fake Phil? That's what they'll be saying.
Can
Ooh,
you
that's
add a
beautiful.
stash crates at safe houses?
Mhm.
Not right now, but that is a strong bit of feedback we have recognized.
Yeah.
And again, we
We
do
hear that.
want to very much work in line with feedback. So I'd say chances are high one day we might see something like that.
Yeah, I mean
perhaps.
it's clear. I think that
Yeah.
the game lends itself to kind of that type of thing. Like, hey, I'm collecting a lot of stuff. It's a big open area. I want to be able to grab my stuff wherever I am at whatever time. I mean, that makes sense as an ask. So that's something that we're exploring.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely we're taking if the community wants it, chances are we've paid attention to
Exactly.
it. And they're
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at it. It's
Like
Yeah.
timelines we couldn't get into if it's anything, or a hard confirmation right now because again we are focused on
Yeah.
just the feedback we've gotten in the last week. But no idea is a bad idea. It's just
Yeah.
where do we place it and how much time do we get to dig into it?
I mean, we'd love to talk about all the ideas we have for the future, but
Mhm.
maybe it's not appropriate when some people are still having core issues. So this is
Yeah.
why we'd rather keep those bits on the down low and be a bit more respectful over some folks are having a
Yep.
bit of a rough experience, and we want to make sure we tighten that
We
up
get that.
before we start saying, hey, look at this cool stuff
Yeah,
coming.
exactly.
So, yes. Excuse me.
Nice one, Matt.
Just checking we're getting the YouTube chat coming through here. We're not, so I'm going to
Okay.
flip back and forth and check
Okay.
if we missed anything critical. How long are we streaming for? We're going to be streaming up until 5 o'clock CST, so that's about 40 minutes from now.
43 minutes to be
Yes.
precise.
Yes, we want storage system, says Black Knight in YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. We've heard that one loud and clear.
Got it.
We add bigger ammo stacks and more weapons. The main issue is small ammo stacks when there is a need to hoard ammo to kill everything in your path.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is you have so many different factors can all lean into one issue. Like,
Yep.
let's say my issue is my inventory isn't big enough. So we
Yep.
can either increase ammo stacks, we can make it so that individual bullets are more powerful, we can give you a stash. There's many ways of
Tons-
looking at things.
exactly.
So it's more, we see your problem, and then our talented game design team go, what's the
What's the
good
best way
solution
to
to that?
what's
Yeah.
the way that kind of can solve all of these things in the right way rather than just going, okay,
yes.
just stack ammo. Okay, but what if there's other things that we need to take into account there? And I think that's where it's taking us time to go through all the feedback and figure out the best way that if we're hearing 6 different things that are all related,
Mm.
what is one solution that works for all of those rather than trying to solve each one individually?
Is there a dynamic weather system, or is it always this foggy? There is absolutely a dynamic weather system. However, some people don't like this overcast tone.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
think
it.
love
I
it.
think it sets a mood, but we get it. Some folks don't.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
fair.
are looking internally into how to sort of offer options at least.
Yeah.
But otherwise, at the moment, I know that people are using reshade mods to kind of remove it. So maybe if you don't like this as it is now, whilst we work on looking into if we want to offer options, look around for Google Generation Zero reshade or something like that, and then you can kind of tailor it to how you like. I've played around with that in some games myself, just for my own personal preference. I mean, admittedly, our art director is going to be crying because
Yeah.
they put so much effort into making this,
The-
art design come
The
across.
weather changes pretty fast in this game too. So you
Yeah.
don't
But I
really
think
have
they
to-
mean that we've had lots of feedback regarding the sort of the fog, let's
Okay.
say. I
Mhm.
think so. What about melee? Something I said early on. I want to punch robots in the face,
Yeah.
or whatever their equivalent of a face.
I'm
would
going to
be.
be honest with you, though. I think trying to punch a a machine in the face is really going to hurt your hand.
We've
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. But
we're gonna have to cut to a kung fu movie where you're hitting a like a sandbag for.
But I think the point's still a valid one. It's like sometimes you just want to hit. It's a very human response. You just want to hit something with something else. So I think, yeah, Matt.
sorry, I was saying, I picked a few people's brains on this,
Yeah?
and some things are like a big metal bar with a battery on the
course.
end of it, or
Yeah.
something. You can just
There you go.
yeah, short the battery out on their head.
There you go.
Yeah, was it like what's that? Dead Rising, I think I played that zombie game. They
Yeah,
had
I
all
remember
kinds
that.
of cool stuff on there.
Crazy wacky
Yeah,
stuff in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not exactly crazy wacky, but I think that
Yes,
there's things that we can come up with, and if people keep asking for melee, that's something that we can investigate and what makes
Yep.
sense for us.
Is there currently any ability to change FOV? There is an FOV slider in the game, so I can't remember if it's on the graphics or display, but
Do you wanna have a
take a
look?
peek.
Oh, look at this.
Yep.
Real time.
Wrong one. Game. There it is.
Boom.
Okay, under game.
Yep. So
Okay.
game up on the top there.
I wonder how much criticism he's gonna get for having it at 52. people would be like, just go wide.
It's just standard, man.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I actually quite like this viewpoint. I mean, I don't normally go for the super wide FOVs when I
can't.
play games.
It
It's
weirds
just,
me
I
out.
don't like the fisheye.
No,
kind
it weirds me out, man.
Yeah,
But
I
the-
get why.
I
but
get
it just
why.
weirds me out.
I mean, I think it was Borderlands 2. I couldn't play that because it was just too
Oh,
super fun
yeah.
game, but it spanned me out.
I
But
do remember
normally
that.
it's yeah, I can play anything like that. Will there be any NPCs you can sell stuff like vendors? Do I need to look like Zlatan? Do I look like Zlatan?
What?
Pay me.
I think you'd have to pay him if you look like Zlatan.
Yeah, he's copyright.
I'm not
Yeah,
talking
man.
about what's Zlatan's salary, but yeah. I don't think Zlatan has blonde hair though, so
No, he
yeah,
does not.
I got that. But the main question was, Zlatan aside, will there be any NPCs when you sell stuff like vendors and things? Again, that's talking about future content, and
Yeah, we'll see.
we're more hyper focused on getting your feedback now, and we'll start answering those kind of questions once we've done some bug fixing passes and kind of moving on with the other stuff.
Trying to check out Matt's guy here. What's going
I'm just checking out what I picked up.
on? Yeah.
This guy's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, right.
I always just like to make the weirdest looking thing.
Really?
I can, yeah, definitely.
I like to make them look at least like 80s stylish.
Oh, nice. I just wait,
Just
those
random.
pants, I don't-
Yeah,
Yeah,
look
you
at
look
that.
like it's like an explosion in a clothes
That's
shop.
the
and
whole
just
idea. It
whatever
sounds-
hit you in the face first.
it sounds like I'm doing a good job.
Which is
then.
pretty much 80s fashion.
Yeah, that's. Oh God, that's cringy.
Ooh, blue boat shoes.
Okay, those match better than what you had than the moon boots.
I got a
Ooh.
question here.
Yeah.
It's any particular reason why it can't go prone? And we did, of course, have prone in the beta, but we removed it because it wasn't really
It wasn't
up
doing
to
what we
our
wanted
standards.
it to do. Yeah.
Yeah. We should remind people, we're not a AAA studio with massive budget. This is a self-published title with a smaller team and
Yep.
a smaller price point, and it just didn't fit into the scope that we had to make it polished and good.
Yep.
Maybe one day.
Maybe
could
one
return.
day. Yeah, we'll
but
see.
Mm.
Again, like we've said before, people keep asking for it, and people look at it. It gets into our heads.
Oops.
We'll figure out how do we address that.
Yeah. Let's flip over to YouTube, see how much. I keep finding
Okay.
new guns. How many guns are there? I have about 10 different weapons. I don't know
Jeez, I
like
don't
the
remember
full
the number.
list.
No, I don't remember the number either.
But-
And there's different rarities, so I don't remember the number off the top of my head.
I was just gonna say actually, I just picked up a green scope,
Mm.
which is the Warn from the
Mm.
left
Mhm.
and you can see it's a lot clearer than
Yeah,
the
it's a
last
little
one.
less
Yep.
smashed up than the one before.
And it's really important people realise too that the guns as the quality go up perform better, so
Yep.
you get better accuracy and all that other stuff. So
Mm.
I've seen a couple of comments that are like,
Mm,
my
mm.
sniper rifle this doesn't, like, well, it's because the gun's a bit worn out at the moment and you'll
Yeah.
get a lot sweeter gear.
The first
Yeah.
weapons you find are intended to be a bit janky.
That's
right,
and,
yeah.
they've been thrown down the back of a sofa for the last 50 years since the last war.
No
and-
one sighted them in a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep your weapon fine-tuned.
Yes, people asking about when the next patch is going to be. Again, we might miss that at the start stream, but we did cover that. It's going to be coming up this month. We're not going to narrow down tighter than that because we don't want to be accused of lying to you. So
Yep.
think of that as you like. It could be next week, it could be the week after, it could be the week after that. But we'd rather not tell you something and it not happen. Put it
Yep.
that way. We'd rather you were pleasantly surprised when we had it out and available to you. So
Yep.
we're not really dodging the issue. We just don't want to make promises we don't keep, because in game development we might see that, oh, at the last minute there's this
Exactly.
bug that we've just fixed, and oh my god, we should hold the patch to get this in because this is amazing. Let's
Yep.
get this in here.
Yep.
And that might delay us a couple of days. So all we can say is it's coming up this month, and we are working super hard on making it happen right
Absolutely.
now. Yeah. Like, we
Absolutely.
have a whole dev team up there who's squirreling away, probably with this the stream open in one corner, but
Maybe.
they're squirreling away hard at work, and yeah. Updates is coming.
Yeah.
Are you looking at game crashes? Yes, we get crash logs. We get reports from all of you on the forum,
Yep.
social
Send
media,
them.
all these places. And again, when I talk about bugs and improvements in the game, crashes are absolutely included in that. I mean, yes. Will there be a way to reset a mission when it's bugged? We'd ideally not have the bug to begin with at all. So
that's
we'd
the
rather
truth.
fix that at source.
That's the truth.
Yes. But we have had some feedback about people wanting to reset missions, so maybe that's something we could look at.
Yeah,
quality
I
of
mean
life.
it's an interesting thing to talk about. And we've had a little bit of conversation around it ourselves. This is, like you said, we ideally don't want people to have to reset a mission, but maybe you just really enjoyed the narrative of that mission. You liked it. That could be another reason. So if we think about this from a few different angles, what would make the most sense for the most number of people?
Yeah.
And find a really interesting path forward. But yeah, we've heard that feedback. It's an interesting one. Just need to give it some more thought on our end. Probably not the highest on our list of things to do, but I think that you know, it's an interesting topic for sure.
Yeah, cool.
It opens up a lot of opportunities as well.
Yes, yes. Being asked, is the best place to send feedback over to Discord? I would say not.
Forums.
It's
Yeah,
best to
forums.
use a forum or the Steam Community Hub, mainly because the fact you have like a permanent record of it there. I'm trying my best to give all my attention to Discord, but to give you a general impression of the things that I'm looking at when I'm talking to you on Discord, I'm on like YouTube, I'm on social media like Facebook, Twitter, I'm over on Twitch checking things on there. I'm maybe writing a report to the dev team to do stuff, so I will miss stuff on Discord. Also, I do have to sleep sometimes, although the 3 AM pings would suggest not. So yeah, Discord is great. We can chat to you on the fly when we can and when we kind of have our attention there. But if you do write a bug report, there is the risk that we might miss it if we're not like there and active at that moment. So please do stick on the forums, stick on the Steam Community Hubs, and that way it's guaranteed and enshrined forever. And we can. It's also super easy us for to share onto the dev team from
Yep.
there. So.
Yep.
Yes. Are there any plans to adjust the death penalty? That's a good one because right now there's it's a bit of more of us not understanding correctly how death works in terms of people having tons of adrenaline shots.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Yeah.
few different things there that we're looking into. I think we have some solutions that we've worked on for the upcoming update, but I don't want to tell people what that is yet. I think it'll be interesting to see how players react. But I think roughly we heard that the feedback is, yeah, sometimes death doesn't feel that impactful.
Yeah.
But other times for people that might not have enough adrenaline shots or anything, like, wow, this is tough.
Yeah, that's the thing, because
Right,
it
so
can be
it's-
either super easy or it can be super tough.
Yep.
So we know
So we
we
need
need to
to-
tweak and make it
Exactly.
a
We
good
need to try
solution.
some things, see how you all out there react to it, and then say, like, you know, did we make the right choice?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that stuff goes.
Yes. Will DLC come out? If so, when? Like too much of now? Or and another question is there more content being added, free/paid? So we can. That's both kind of the same question. And again, we said yes. We have plans for the
That's the
future.
intent. Yes.
Lots of stuff that we thought of ahead of time that we want to bring to you.
Yep.
And of course, we're reading what you were suggesting you want from us.
Yep.
So yes, there will be stuff both free and paid coming out in the future. But again, we didn't really want to start talking about it just yet, whilst we're concentrating so much on initial bugs and getting that smooth baseline experience for
And
you.
I think what's interesting about future content, like you mentioned, you know, we've had ideas ourselves. We have some things that we thought, like, we're fairly certain players are going to love X, Y, Z thing.
Yeah.
But maybe, you know, in the first couple weeks to months here, we'll see that, oh, you know what, maybe people don't like this thing, and it's something that, okay, we remove from the roadmap, or it's something that we just maybe they really liked and we lean into it. Like, all right, let's get more of these out. So we'll shuffle based on what people are saying. We've made some kind of bets in our head in terms of things that we think people will like.
Yeah.
We'll just see how it pans out. But yeah, the intent is to absolutely have a mix of free and paid content.
Yes. I'll just make a quick correction there. Hi Monkey on YouTube saying this is the same dev team that made Call of the Wild and all DLC was paid. So I'm sure the same with this game. Are you playing the same Call of the Wild as we're working on? I mean, any animal, for example, any new species that comes to Call of the Wild, you're not charged for. That's free. There's always multiple improvements with the game that come alongside any DLC release, and that's probably the same kind of system we're looking at for Generation Zero. You know, we're going to be releasing some paid content, and then you're going to get a free update of general game improvements, maybe the odd game feature. It's not going to be pay to play all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, and also something. Are we going to go with a similar model we have at Call of the Wild, where if a buddy owns a DLC, you can join your buddy?
Yep. For paid DLC stuff like that, we'd like to follow that model. Yeah. Absolutely.
So those of you who don't know, the way that works with our previous games is if you have a buddy or you own a DLC and you're in a group of friends and maybe one of you doesn't have it, that doesn't matter. You can still play with your friends and still experience all the DLC content. We won't make you play just so you can play together with your friends because we think that's a terrible idea. So yeah, that's also a thing.
Yeah.
Can we get locker storage at Safe House? We covered that back at the start of the stream,
We
and
did.
we know that's a very strong feedback point. And again, we're all about working with that good feedbacks. So we'll see what the future brings.
I mean, that was the third time in half an hour, so
Yeah,
it's
this is
creeping up there. Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
know
hear
it's a biggie. It's a biggie.
Mhm.
PS4 public players are joining game even with setting to invite only. Is this normal? No, that should not be the
That should
case.
not be,
We've had a
yeah.
few reports of that, and that's something that we have been looking into. So we'll be on that.
Yep.
Will skills respecing be a thing?
Oh, another one that we've had some conversation around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's different ways that we can think about what it means to level up and kind of progress your character long term. And does respecking play into that? Do we think that maybe you should play the same or a new character? There's a whole lot of thoughts that we've had around that kind of end game. What do I do, and what am I working towards with my character? And is respec an aspect we want to bring in, or do we want to try to solve some of this in a different way? But yeah, we've had conversations around that one for sure.
Here's an important question
Okay.
or request. I want to roll my sleeves up to see my gold watch more. I want to show off the bling. I mean, that probably goes into character customization again to some
does.
extent.
Yep. I mean, we're in November.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not from a cold country, November's cold.
It is cold.
It's not great.
That's kind of my answer to swimming as well. It's like, who wants to jump in a lake in November in Sweden? Anyway, what's Matt getting up to over in gameplay land?
So we've just found Stenhager Farm, and
Okay.
so we're just getting
Sternhager.
getting some sweet loot.
Nice.
I've been impressed with your guys' like kind of unspoken coordination for a lot of your fights. Just out of the corner of my eye, I keep watching you
Mind
play. and
meld.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love when you hit that point with a buddy.
maybe those guys that play those other games simultaneously on different things. It's me and Sasha are one and the same.
Oh, that's good.
But
But I think it's super fun though to just watch two people that just, like you said, just mind meld really well together.
I don't want shotguns.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm not a shotgun fan.
Too easy for you, Matt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Too easy.
I think you're doing it wrong.
I can play the game how I want, Paul.
Can we get an XP bump or maybe XP for being stealthy? We've been asked by Incinerator 96. I mean, things like that is like general tweaks and tunes. That's the kind of thing we're likely to cover across the whole lifetime of a game. You know, what can we adjust here or slide here and just make the whole experience that bit tighter? So
I think that's really interesting stuff. Because like you said, we can tweak stuff over time. But yeah, I think we should reward different styles of gameplay. Because like some people, like myself, typically when I play games and there's kind of a skill or a way to support others, because as I'm getting older, my aim isn't as what it used to be. I like to just like throw down support stuff and do things like that, and I want to make sure I'm getting the appropriate score for that, rather than somebody that's blowing up all the stuff is getting all the points. So like that's tweaking stuff that we can look into.
yeah, exactly. Okay, I need to address this one.
Okay.
This is so funny. Developers playing the game instead of fixing the cluster of bugs and broken missions. Let me stop you there. I'm a community manager. You do not want me anywhere near the code for this game.
me neither.
Trust me. As for Paul as well, I'd
Yeah,
imagine it's not really something you do. Yeah,
I don't know how to code.
we'll leave that to professionals upstairs.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's why they're there. Like the team is great. They're super knowledgeable. You don't want me to touch things.
No, you don't want
That's
anyone
bad.
in this room to go anywhere near the actual code of this game.
No.
Trust me.
No.
But we are all very, very good at taking your feedback and giving it to them so they make it happen. That's why we're here now.
Yep.
That's why we do what we do when we're not on stream. It's all about helping what you say get to them who do make it happen. So us being here does not affect the game development anyway. Other than improving it, so we
Yes.
can get your feedback up to them.
I mean, this is a great feedback opportunity. That's what.
Yes.
Again, part of the
Yes.
reason we do these things.
Exactly.
So that we can
That's-
hear you in real time.
We just feed back some information to you guys too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a two-way
Ooh,
street.
Look at these ones, Paul.
How about...
Oh, fancy, buddy. They're bright.
Yeah.
They are, yes. How about a way to sleep and pass time like in Call of Wild? I actually heard conversation being discussed in the hallway just this morning.
Exactly.
So,
Because I think one of you brought it up to us in Slack. Somebody mentioned it somewhere.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, it's all these little discussions are always happening on an ongoing basis.
Yep.
And all this feedback you're giving us here, where we see elsewhere, it's always being absorbed and passed on. Joss, is the map going to get larger? I think that's probably a good guess that one day there might be some more map, even though it's pretty damn big right now. I mean, we plan on sticking around for, as long as you want us to be here.
Yeah.
So chances are there'll be more places to explore one day in the distant
Yeah.
future.
Shut me in. Goddamn.
Can you please let run the Nemesis monster from Resident Evil in your game for hunting the players? You talk to the nice people at Resident Evil and we'll make it happen.
I haven't played RE in forever. I don't know. I don't
There was
remember
that
that one.
big, was it Resi 2? The big, scary, huge thing that used to just suddenly appear and ruin your day.
Huh.
Yeah. Are you trolling each other with the doors?
Maybe.
I might have seen that out of the corner of my
There's
eye.
a little bit of
Nice.
tomfoolery going on. I've got to look at my sweet
You
get-up.
say tomfoolery, I say immersion
this.
gameplay.
Isn't that this
Oh,
repulsive?
Oh, wow.
No, those I think that works, man.
You reckon that works?
I actually think it works.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Ish.
just that
Rate
bright
it.
pop of turquoise.
It
with
looks
the
like
red.
one of those red vine candy things.
What do you guys in chat give the
It's
out
a
of
bit
10?
mouldy on the end.
Yeah, right.
I give it a 7. Oh, Sasha's
7,
hitting it too.
Sasha's live changing his pants.
Yeah, it's nice.
Tommy Hawkster just joined the channel. Any plans for building/food/drink? I mean, that's not something we immediately highlight as a route for our game,
No.
but again, we're sucking in all that feedback, and we'll see where things end up.
Yeah, I mean that's something that we've heard here and there. Is do we want to go more into the real hardcore survival?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting topic for
I
conversation.
mean, we've also heard people say the opposite.
Yeah.
Please do not make it hardcore survival.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So I mean, it's we'll see what players' feedback, how people end up playing the game, like what we can see from all of you, and then we'll just we'll evaluate constantly. That's the beauty of the two-way street of conversation between yourselves and the community, and then us for streams like this, and just the team just trying to figure out what's working, what's not, and just continually adapt.
Yep. I got a great question from Mixer. Nick in Japan over on Mixer has asked us, describe the game in 10 words or less.
Oh my God, I gotta count words. Hold on.
They will be counting, so you better get it right.
No, but I gotta count like that.
We'll give you a minute to think of that one.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus.
How about in a haiku?
Oh,
In a haiku.
No, I don't remember how haikus work. That's the problem.
It's
I
474 or
I think
373. Either way, it's too big for 10
But is there
characters,
supposed to be a rhyme in there? No, I don't.
No, it's
I don't
not.
know.
It's just all about them syllables.
Yeah.
Awesome. One word.
What's the best way for a person with low NPC to be able to play the game with the best quality and the best gaming experience? I mean, we would always recommend you follow the recommended specs, first of all. If you're not quite there and you still want to push the boat and hope you can experience the game anyway with lower system than we suggest, then just whack down all the graphics, I guess, is the main thing you can do. How are you guys taking all the feedback? You mean in terms of emotionally or the process? I mean, emotionally, I wouldn't say it was an issue because we're just really glad to have you talking to us, and its feedback is super valuable to us of all kinds, and it can only help us make the game better.
I think for me, it's good or bad feedback. I'm happy for it as long as it's presented constructively and professionally.
I mean, we'd rather there was no feedback. No bad feedback for you to give us, but that's
true,
never
that's
the
true,
reality
that's
of
true.
anything.
Yeah.
So we will instead, though, when we do get it, we take it and we see it as something to improve on.
Yeah.
But as far as the actual processes, so many ways. Oh my God, the spreadsheets that are in my life right now. We have various processes for making sure that we have good sort of tracking of information that comes from you folks to the devs, and making sure that all the hot topics and the smaller ones are all being logged.
Yep.
Will you add a way to edit the key binding? So there is some key binding edit methods in place right now. There might be some more polish coming into that. There's been some feedback from you folks, and also internally we recognize some improvements we can do. So.
Something we're looking into. Yeah.
What CPU/GPU you're running on right now, and what FPS you're getting? We have a 1080 Ti in there, I think, off the top of my head. FPS enough. I can't say without installing Reaver Tuner or something like that and finding out on the fly. Yeah.
I couldn't come up with 10 things. I end up at 11.
Okay, I think we'll
12.
let you have the bonus one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What did I say? Crazy Machines take over 80s Sweden from
Swedes.
adolescents fighting back.
Love
Something like that.
Yeah, you get a star for effort, let's say.
Yeah, okay.
Love it.
Is your epic mullet an in-game item? Merch store, come on.
There is. There is. I don't know if
There-
you
there
found
is,
it, but there's almost that exact look.
Yeah.
Oh, not by a trick.
Without this beautiful face, though. No. Love the game, guys, says Metafish. It's become my favorite game.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That's nice.
I mean, yeah, we love the good feedback too, but even if we get all the good feedback, we're still aware that even the people that are happy, we still want to make the game better for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just going to turn all the good up and the bad stuff down, and that's the plan.
Nice shot, Sasha. Oh, Matt, that was.
I'm not going to answer that one, George Bannister. Again, something asked about survival mode. Flip back through the VOD. We covered that one already. It's really based upon player feedback. Some people love it. Some people hate it. We'll see where we end. Maybe we have an optional element to it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Can the game become a voice of IP function with push to talk? I mean, again, we're a smaller team, and the amount of investment that goes into VoIP is like, there's places that do it better. I mean, Discord. Who doesn't have Discord nowadays? I mean,
there's options, yeah.
if there's lots of requests for it, we can look into it. But again, if we start making a VoIP feature, then it means we're not doing something else. So that's kind of why we didn't do it at the beginning.
Exactly, trade-offs.
Trade-offs.
Small team, so we gotta be careful about where we focus down.
Yes. I mean, you can also, I guess you can use Steam voice chat if you've got your Steam friends on
Another
there
one,
as well.
yeah.
So, yes. My biggest feedback would be those dang detection markers. I want to turn those off. Well, I had your back earlier. We had a meeting just this afternoon where I raised that point. How some of you folks have said that you don't like how you get a heads up on machines around you. You'd rather be, have the bejesus scared out of you. So I did actually raise that very point just like an hour before we had this stream. So, yeah. We got you on that. We hear it loud and clear.
And it's same like some of the other stuff we talked about is, is just the ability to turn it off enough, or is there something else we should think about when it comes to being detected and you noticing, the stealth levels with enemies? There's tons of different solutions we can come up with. I think that just turning it off is a valid option, but maybe there's more we can think about. So that's stuff that we're trying to tackle upstairs.
There's a good one for you, Paul.
Okay.
Kind of an ignorant question, but why is the game not $60?
Oh boy, that's a.
I guess it's about talking about AA versus AAA.
It is, yeah. It's
why we are what we are.
A lot of the conversation we've had is about the game being a AA or sometimes we like to call it triple I for kind of an advanced indie title almost, because the team is really small and it's a passion project. It's something that the team took and tried to make the best of with the team size that they had, and an amazing world that could already build off of the other assets within Avalanche. And then it's where can we iterate and kind of improve on, but without massive team sizes that are typical with AAA products. So it's about it's a smaller, more condensed experience than you'd imagine in a huge $60 title,
and is priced accordingly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, being discussed again in Steam chat about who we are. Again, I'm a community manager. To my left here, maybe it looks right on your screen, I'm not sure if we got them cameraed or not, is Matt, also a community manager. And Paul is the product owner, so the kind of, he deals with the overall strategy about where the game goes, etc. Actual developers who touch the game on a daily basis, they're all upstairs doing a development thing.
Yes.
So, Ramulan Melsham saying he actually looked at the flying bag, lol. Well, yeah, I mean, we got nothing to hide here.
No,
we're very open with saying we have issues and we want to fix them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm playing
why,
this on
why
live.
lie? Why lie? Yeah, we're playing on the
the
live
same
branch.
experience as you guys have.
We got nothing to hide. We're very open in the fact that we want to see what's up with the game and fix it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think like it goes for any of our game titles. Actually, we kind of try and be a bit more open and honest.
yeah, I
about
mean,
things.
we're not fooling anyone by just doing anything else. Otherwise, I'm not going to throw up a sudden cover over the screen because I don't want to see the floaty box. I mean, no, I mean. It's something that we recognize, and we're going to make it not a thing.
Indeed.
Unless there's an in-game reason to have a floaty box at one point. I don't know.
Hover boxes.
I was going to say, is anti-grav technology part of this? You don't know.
Yeah. A lot of the reviews I've seen label you as a AAA studio, and I didn't realize you're a small team. That's unfortunately something we kind of had to deal with because Avalanche Studios, for those of you who don't know how the studio is set up, we have AAA studios, which are kind of work for hire, who work with other publishers, such as the likes of Square Enix, for example, and they create AAA games. Then we also have our self-published team, which is entirely funded, the whole concept of the games generated by us, and then we're completely developed in-house as well.
Yep.
They're often with a much smaller team and much smaller budget, etc. So it's nice because we can sometimes dip into that AAA experience in some respects. Maybe people have worked on AAA projects in the past and bring that over to our game, but at the same time, people will of course judge us by the AAA history we have with our other games. So it's a double-edged sword there, but we are definitely a smaller, more indie level size game as far as the team setup.
And we try to take what we can from some of the bigger games in terms of learnings or maybe technologies or things like that we develop and apply them into our games. But yeah, just don't have that manpower. It's not the same size.
Exactly. Guy in the middle, your redneck mullet is not cool. Bring back the 80s for the game. I know it's not cool, and I am embracing its not coolness in favor of the 80s. So yeah, it's not real.
We like to have some fun here.
Did you have an Are you an 80s kid? Are you?
82?
82? Okay, yeah. Did you have a mullet when you were younger?
No.
Hey, I don't know, man.
No.
I actually
If I did, I'd have to cool.
Did you really?
Yeah, but it was kind of more...
Tell me it wasn't a rat tail, though.
No, it was worse than that. There's a thing in New Zealand, and the hairstyle was called a kinner.
Okay.
And so you had like a spiky fringe, shaven long hair at the back.
Oh,
okay.
It was terrible, yeah.
So you had like hair both ends. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's.
At least I had hair in the 80s. That's about as much as I can say.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in that boat now too.
Yeah.
Paul.
Well, the devs this supportive and cool. I gotta get the game now. I have faith in these guys. They can do it.
Well,
Silent Dark on
that's
Steam.
nice to hear.
Oh,
Thank you.
I mean, again, we put our hands up. We know there's some teething
Yeah.
issues that need to be resolved,
Yeah.
and we're doing what we can to make that happen.
Yep.
But yeah, we're here for you, and we want you to be here for us with all that nice feedback.
Exactly.
And we will make this the game that you want it to be, hopefully, for most of you. No.
Yeah.
I appreciate the idea behind the stream. Feedback is important. One confused about is why this is not in beta. There are a lot of things going on here that feel are simply undeveloped, clothing attributes that don't actually have descriptions, etc. I mean, yes, there are things that have slipped through,
Yep.
and yeah, it's just up to us now to make sure it happens. And yeah, we're apologetic that they have slipped through, but again, having a smaller team size like that, it's a lot more realistic that things like that will slip through. But you don't have these armies of people checking the person who checked the thing that checked the thing ahead of them. And yeah, we hold our hands up and to say apologize to you that it's like that, but we will just promise you to get things fixed.
And try to do better next time.
Yes.
Yep. Just continuing to listen, adapt, and improve.
Yes. Can I? Oops. Sorry, I'm
Uh-oh.
just gonna go and see if I can. Can't do that. Where are we? Peace. Sorry, I had to mute a troll.
Okay.
That was my brain chugging in real time work. I got like all
Trolling
the
on.
different
I
chats
noticed.
open. Yes. Oh, there's another one it has to get removed. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh man. Be nice. Well, you have to be mad. It's just a game. Actually, I almost got the right hair for that. What is up, dev team? Says Herbie All-Star on Twitch. We're just hanging out with you folks and listening to what you have to say to us and hopefully giving you some answers based upon what you say to us. Are you looking at changing some of the intro to... Oh, my track just jumped up
lost it.
to help gameplay development or keeping it how it is? I hear a lot of people discuss the opening hours and reviews. I mean, that is a bit of a challenge with video games in this current climate is... People like to put their whole impression of a game based on the first 2 hours gameplay,
Yeah.
so they can beat that 2-hour Steam refund thing.
Yep.
And maybe on a sort of on an atmospheric game like this, it doesn't do us justice because in the 2 hours, if you're playing it at a pace where you're kind of absorbing in the world and exploring, you're not going to get outside of the start zone. So I think unless we change the core of how our game works, I think it's just our game doesn't fit that style of looking at it, really. I mean,
But I mean, that doesn't mean that there's not room for improvement.
No,
there.
no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
I've heard a few people bring that up in the days post-launch, and it's something that maybe we can just make an improvement somewhere in the intro that makes the game more interesting and more straightforward for players or something. But we need, again, listening to feedback, trying to see where people are struggling, and then just try to tackle the problem. But it does take time for us, especially for something like that. It's like, okay, but why don't people like it within the first hour, and how far did they get in there? What part of it didn't they like that they felt that needed to kind of bounce out of the game from? So it's different things for different people in that same 1 to 2 hours.
yeah.
So how can we look at the data and the information we have from players to try to improve that? Because
gonna get-
somebody that comes in and buys the game 6 months from now, we don't want them to have the same experience. We would hope that we can make an experience better.
Yes.
We're going to get some audio over here in a second, sorry.
Okay.
You hear a tick.
I've been complained at for muting people who are being abusive at us on Steam. I'm sorry, but we love to get your feedback, but we will not take people being abusive. It's
Yeah,
just
there's-
not cool.
there's
There's no
no
place
point
for
for
that.
it.
Nope.
No. So if you see there's a problem with me deleting abusive people, then sorry. I
Yeah.
mean,
we
it's going to keep happening.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, we don't have problems with negative feedback. We welcome negative feedback, and you're happy to
Just-
have it anywhere. But just don't be a insert purgative here
Yeah, just- you
about it.
You can be polite about your feedback and your opinions.
Yeah.
That's just being decent to other people.
Yeah,
That's
And
right.
we never want to mute your opinion. We'll never mute you based upon your opinion, but we will mute you if you are being directly offensive, abusive, or attacking us. Put it
Yeah.
that way.
It's not necessarily what you say; it's how you say it.
Yes, 100%. And it's people who are misbehaving like that actually affects the game for everybody
Yeah.
else because it takes our time away from dealing with you on a quality one-to-one basis, and these people take time away from us dealing with you who want to see improvements in the game. So.
Yep.
Really, as a community, try and band around to stop people being like
Yeah,
that. And,
we work really hard to keep the communities nice.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's something we do try and take pride on with our Avalanche of self-published games is we do like to keep a clean house. I mean, I'd like to think you might have noticed that by seeing on our forums already. Yes, we get some grumbles, but we expect that due to having some rough issues.
Yeah.
But it should be a friendly place where everyone can have an opinion.
Exactly.
And don't get attacked.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway, sorry to go off a bit off topic there, but I felt that had to be said.
No, it's good.
When does the first update come out? Again, we're looking at this month. We don't want to give any promises tighter than that right now.
Yep.
Mainly because we don't want to break promises.
Yep.
So it could be next week. It could be the week after that. We wouldn't say just yet because we want to make sure 100% we're certain that you get it when we say you will.
And again, that update is focused mainly on bug fixing and trying to address some of the feedback we've gotten so far. We're not going to get everything. It's it's only been a couple weeks since launch. We're hard at work. The team's hard at work upstairs trying to address a lot of this stuff, fix things. So it's our first primary focus is trying to improve the experience as it is now before we start adding in new stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Can we please get an option to turn off motion blur on console? I did not know we did not have that option on console.
Yeah, I heard that from somebody. I don't know. Well, that's one to look into. We might already have that one tracked, and I just haven't seen it personally. But I do recall it being mentioned previously.
Okay, cool. I will request on their behalf, please remove motion blur on console because I'm one of those gamers who cannot stand motion blur. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm in the latter camp.
There's some times where, like, on certain games, I don't even notice if I turn it on or off. And again, I could be just getting old and I'm not noticing those things. I don't know.
Yes. 10 minutes left of the stream, so keep those questions coming into us, and we'll answer as many of you as you can. And again, when the stream ends, myself and Matt in particular spend a lot of time over on our Discord and our Steam Community Hub answering your questions when we're not live on air on stream. So please do give us your feedback there. Again, if you want to bug report, best place is our forum.generation0.com or the Steam Community Hub. If you have general questions, feedback, thoughts about the game, hit us up anywhere you can find us. So all the social media, Discord, that cool stuff. And Discord is not just us here that hang around there. All our devs are reading it.
I'm in there.
So. Yes.
I'm more of a lurker at this point, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's myself and Matt, this is kind of our full-time role, is talking to people, whereas even then, I feel I can't be everywhere enough, but still getting stuff done. But you, obviously, you need to, you're up there steering the ship.
When I'm at my desk, I at least try to check it, but there is a lot of running around, that's for sure.
Any online PvP survival plans? Not at this time, I would say. It'll be a very different game to what we're looking at now.
Yeah, that's
we want to iterate and go based on feedback.
The frame rate on this is going to be ridiculous.
Oh, geez, you got a lot there, didn't you?
Woo! That actually wasn't bad at all.
Well played, sir.
Yeah, that was that's how you kill a gazillion hunters in one shot.
I'm really proud of you, Matt. That was well done.
A bit of patience. Like, is it now? Is it now? Is it now?
See, and this goes back to what I was saying about you and Sasha kind of having that unspoken thing. He didn't even have to say anything.
No.
He was like, I know what Matt's doing, and I'm on board.
That's right.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Sasha's now getting pummeled.
Oh, that's his problem.
Yep.
Metafish and Twitch is saying we can make new characters. I think we could create a second world as well at some point. That way we don't have to delete all our characters to start a game. Again, around 2 hours from now, we had a discussion about this very point, so perhaps one day we'll see it, but we've already received plenty of that feedback.
It's a good shout. So something for us to think about and investigate.
Yes, see what happens in the future.
Yeah.
Why is it so easy to kill the robots? Why did robots several meters die right away? Surely armored from explosives. Explosives are meant to be a rewarding mechanic, let's say. If you have the guts to run up and perfectly place an explosive can in front of them without getting rumbled, then you should get rewarded for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, try to create some of these too much stuff. Trying to have this tactical gameplay element to it, and there's a risk reward, like you were just saying. If you can pull off some of that stuff, then yeah, it should feel good, and you should be able to pull that off fairly easily. But if you were to try to take on all those runners just guns blazing, I mean, that's just you're asking for it.
It's not going to end well.
Yeah. So it's a balance, and especially it's a bit more challenging if you're solo. When you're in multiplayer like this, you can really amp up the tactics that you pull off.
Yeah.
But if you think about the game a bit differently, if you try to take a more tactical approach, then we want to reward you accordingly.
Exactly. I mean, that's something we spoke a lot about before launch as well. Is the options of how you want to play it's important. You can run and gun and go charging if you want to. It may not always be the best way, but it can work. Or you should be also rewarded for being stealthy, trying different tactics.
Yeah.
Do you guys also often have random crashes of the game? We understand that a lot of people are having crash issues right now, and that's something that's getting a lot of attention at the moment. Again, we covered that a few times during the stream, but in case you missed it, 100% we hear those are a thing, and we are on it.
Yep.
Can you add more like roving packs or search squads? It seems that encounters are all based around places of interest, which is not enough in areas in between. I mean, that's also a feedback point.
That's a good feedback point. Yeah, and I get that one. I think that one makes sense, and that's something that that we can investigate because we heard people saying that around launch time.
Yeah,
it's exactly that.
I think too that people don't understand how much more intense the main island gets once you get there. If we can say that, like as soon as you get to that next part, you're like. Okay, okay. It's a little bit different over this side of the woods. Yeah. So. But
I mean, it's a fair thing, and like that helps add to some of the kind of emergent gameplay that we want in the game. That these things can happen if you're just strolling around. So I mean, it's a great idea. So it's something we've had conversation around.
Yeah.
I know I feel like I say that for a lot of things, but I think the truth is
we've had a lot of conversations.
We've had a lot of conversations because we've heard a lot of this stuff from the community. So we're trying to get on top of it as fast as we can.
Yeah. Exactly.
X Artemis in Twitch is saying, I'm doing my review soon of the game. Oh, we scrolled up. All I can say, it's amazing. Well, that's awesome. Thank you.
To hear.
Thank you so much for taking the time to write a review as well. I mean, we've had the team today we've had a lot of attention going through all of our Steam reviews, both good and bad, and taking them as another feedback source to us in seeing what we can improve. So also Steam reviews are important to us to gather information as well. So by all means, get those thoughts and ideas on there as well.
Indeed.
Did you plan to add smaller and bigger robots and add limited storage box and safe house? Again, we talked about safe house earlier. We've had a lot of feedback about that. So bearing in mind we want to work closely with community feedback, you can deduce that perhaps one day you might see those kind of things in the game. The other bits was planned to add more smaller and bigger robots, so just more machines in general.
I mean, I think that
it's a safe bet.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like that's the number one thing you're interacting with, so it makes sense. But when and what they are, we'll save that for the appropriate time.
Will hit markers / hit indicators be added? That might be a good idea, actually, because me reading social media, I see some people saying, oh, have you noticed that your bullets disappear at range sometimes? It's like they don't disappear. It's more like, bullet drop is a thing and that kind of thing. So maybe, hit markers as immediate feedback.
Or something, yeah, I mean, there's some things that we can look to tweak, absolutely.
And again, someone else mentioning hit markers. So, yeah,
okay,
we're taking feedback in.
That's good.
So, again, we're never going to give you a hard promise live on air because as much as we could have something up there that we think's ready to go, and we still would not say yes here on stream because we don't want to run the risk. There might be that slight, tiny chance where it doesn't happen.
I mean, unless there's a day where it's like we have this stream, and the next day we have a patch coming out. We'd be like, all right, we actually know this time.
Yes, but that's.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Yes,
we would always go on the side of caution and just say we'll take it as feedback, and you might be surprised the next day when it comes out.
Yep.
Just because we don't want to be accused of lying to you. That's not at all the kind of opinion we want. We want to be the open, honest, and
Sorry, Sasha was just dancing. And
okay.
taunting the runners.
Look at that combo work. It's great when a team comes together.
Couple of minutes left. Get those last questions running in. That's a long one. Sorry, little David. I'm reading it, but I'm probably not going to read it back out on stream. But I will definitely. I see what you're saying. Love the game. Hope to see more variety of machines. Yes, as do we. Again, that is a logical thing that we'd probably look at one day. Is more machines, of course. Afro, where is it? Do we have an Afro in the game? I think we have an Afro in the game.
Kind of. I mean, if you want like
Huge.
big one, okay, I'm down with that. Can look into that.
I think Afro's typically more 70s, though, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah,
well, I think that
that's
hairstyle's
fair.
always been in existence in some point in each generation.
Yeah,
I guess it's a timeless kind of thing. Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez, buddy.
Sweet beacon XP.
Yep.
Auto run feature. That's a good idea.
Heard that one as well.
Heard that one.
Yeah.
There is a short cropped Afro. Yeah, so there is a little one, but not a huge
exactly.
one. Steam Workshop. Unfortunately, that's not something that's ever likely to be a thing for us because we do use our own in-house Apex engine to create the game.
Yeah.
It's not so easy for folks just to dip into it and start making content. Although Steam Workshop is super cool, and I've worked with games that use that in the past, and it is awesome.
Cool.
No 3D pixels. There will not be those kind of machines. These Q&A will be documented at the website. It's impossible for us to do an entire stream like Q&A, but If you would like to, you can go back and look over the recordings. We're going to release it on YouTube tomorrow or the day after.
Or if someone wants to be super nice and just clip the things, or just like summarize them in a post, that's something that we could do.
Yeah, but otherwise we'll try and keep interacting with you via all of our text channels as well. You might have seen the letter from the dev team we did last Friday. If you didn't, check for it on our forum, on our social media, and on our website.
Yeah.
And yeah, we want to try and keep all kinds of channels open where we can speak to you. And that letter, in case you missed it, was basically a reminder to you folks that we are very much sort of hunkered down, focusing on bugs and absorbing feedback at this point, which is why you're not seeing sort of immediate updates. It is more because we're hard at work putting something in.
Need time to reflect, take that feedback in, and adapt to it. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sorry to say that about takes us out of time. So again, you've been listening to me, Graham, community manager. Matt here has been driving, with Sasha offering the skillful backup. And Paul, would like to remind people who you were?
Product owner for Generation Zero.
Yes. So you'll be seeing more of us, 100%. I'm sure you're going to be seeing more of Paul in the future.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And perhaps some of the other dev teams, as and when we can pull them away from the hard deving activities that they do. But otherwise, after we wrapped up now, again, look for our Discord, look for our forum, look for the Steam Community Hub, Facebook, Twitter, all that cool stuff. Keep the questions coming. We're not plugging our ears just because we're not live on stream right now. This is what we do all day. So please keep the feedback coming, and we'll keep it going to the devs. Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much for being awesome, everybody, and thanks for joining us, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Catch ya.
Bye-bye.